So let's take a look at the Pokedex Binder first. Now you'll be able to see that we're on 558 at the time of recording, so we are just over halfway. Now it's important to note that lots of cards in here, because we're packing them, we have got commons, for example, like this Pidgey in the corner, which eventually over time will be upgraded. Likewise, the Charmander. Starting on page 1 is a really good point, because at the minute I'm missing Bulbasaur and we've got 2 commons for Charmander and Squirtle. In my next video that I make is actually me at Birmingham Card Show, and you'll be able to see on the side here the 3 cards that I'm going to be grabbing to fill these spots, and that is going to be the Pidgey trio. And of course you'll be able to also see in each one of the pages we've got paper inserts. I got these on Etsy. There is a company called Poke Placeholders which also make these, and the person that I bought them from no longer sells them, so that's quite frustrating, but there are really pretty ones that are out there that you can get. Now this Charizard here is actually going to be remaining, because we did a poll whether or not it would be this one or the Radiant Charizard that I got. This one is actually going to stay. This Butterfree I actually picked up as a buyer's giveaway on Whatnot, and my favourite card on this page, to be honest with you, is actually the Caterpie. It's a sick card, and it just looks so good, and it's just a Caterpie. I'm just going to casually flick through and take a look at the rest of it. We've got Pidgeotto. Now up here we've got Rattata, and that is actually going to be the first card that we pop in for this video. It's just a common, but I actually received it as part of some bulk. And while we're on this page, the second card we're going to be entering in is Brock's Sandshrew, because I've got a Yuka Morii in here, which is a series where I'm collecting all of the Yuka Morii, and I say all, I'm going to try my best anyway, but they are clay models and they're absolutely fantastic, and they're going to be in my artist binder, which is another binder that I'm going to show you later on in the video. So you might sort of notice a theme for today's video where we're ultimately just trying to get a lot of the Yuka Mories out and upgrade them to different cards. Sandshrew doesn't actually have that many nice cards, to be honest with you. I'll probably go for the more vintage ones. This Pikachu is a favourite of mine in the whole set so far. I love the fact it's the vintage card, but with the modern aesthetic of having that kind of full art illustration rare kind of look to it. This Fearow I picked up at my last card show, which was in Cheltenham. And then we've got the Gloom as well. This Gloom is beautiful. That was actually bought on Whatnot. I opened a pack of Shrouded Fable and it was just in there, and it is just a stunning card. I love it so much. I was so happy with it, and yeah, it's a belter. And there's actually one more card that we want to upgrade, and that is going to be Parasect. We've got this one here, which I believe is from Lost Origin. This is going to go in as an upgrade. So what we typically do is we just swap out the card, which is a common in this instance. It's got a really lovely stipple artwork, and then we'll pop in the new one. So that's a lovely upgrade to the bind. I always have to try and just slide them in between the paper inserts and the actual binder. On this page we've got some absolute belters. We've got Polly Whirl from 151, just an absolutely beautiful card. This artwork is absolutely amazing. I want to get this in English and in Japanese. My 2 favourite Pokemon, I think I've kind of narrowed it down now. We've got Growlithe and Arcanine over here, which I want to get some upgrades for, and you'll notice that obviously these forms are in here, which are the regular forms. If you're new to the series, I'm only collecting the regular forms in the Pokedex binder, so whatever the actual normal Pokedex entry is. So these ones are here. The Hisuian versions are going to be showing up later on in this video in the second binder. Now another card in here probably worth noting is the Rapidash. This is part of a more recent set. I can't remember if it's Heatwave Arena or even Gloria Team Rocket, either one of them. It'll be in the UK soon, but this is an absolute beautiful card. Let's move to the next page. In here, absolute belter straight off the bat is this Magneton in the top. What a beautiful card this is. This is just an amazing piece of art by Shinji Kanda, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And then on these ones, to be fair, we've got loads of sort of regular kind of commons and uncommons. One rare here for the Marowak. Lickitung I'd like to get the full art version for. Of course, all of these eventually will all get upgraded to higher entries, for example Execute and so on. This artwork is sick. If this was a like a full art illustration rare in that style, oh, that'd be amazing. Moving across, we've got another pretty full page here. We're almost full on this side. We've got a little throwback here to a Kangaskhan from Jungle. It's absolutely battered in that hollow, you can see there, but it was quite nice to pick up something super nostalgic. We've got the Pokeball Sea King, which we opened up recently from Prismatic Evolutions, a set that I'd actually rather not talk about, to be honest with you, because it's just not great. And in here, we've also got the pincer, which I absolutely love. I love this artwork to it. Another one worth pointing out is actually the Mr. Mime as well, where all three of them seem to be dancing. Now moving over to this page, we actually have a new card that's going to go in, and that is going to be the Omanyte, and this one is from 151. Now this card actually sort of better explains how my kind of collecting is going. This is the card that's going in here because the Pokedex is always the priority. I actually have a Yuka Morii Omanyte that is in my collection that is going to go into today's video, but it would have had to go into here had we not had a better entry already in. So the Pokedex always takes priority. So what I sometimes have to do is find cards like this one here to fill a space that I know I've got a card of like that's going to go in my artist binder, so that that artist card doesn't end up in here. If it does end up in here, it just means I've got to find a card to get it out and then put it into the other binder. So this always will take priority over any of my other collections. They're just additional ones. And of course, it's worth noting my Journey Together Articuno that we pulled on the channel from opening up the ETB on day one that it came out. This card is absolutely stunning. Now, not always do I abide by those rules as such, because we've got an EV that you're going to see later on, but I believe that this Pokeball version that you can see here from Prismatic Evolutions is actually rarer technically in terms of trying to get hold of it than the one you're going to see later, so this one's going to stay. And another note is the Ditto Numel card as well. Let's keep going then, let's take a look. We've got the Mewtwo V. This was actually a buyer's giveaway on Whatnot. I won this one and it's an absolute belter of a card. Very, very cool design. A card that everybody's seen about 1,000 times if you've watched my Prismatic Evolution opening is the Hoot Hoot, which is a beautiful card. Let's then move on to the next page, because in here we have some absolutely beautiful illustrations. The Marill here is absolutely beautiful. Look at this one. How cool is that? You've got all of the Pokemon in the background. You've got Love Disc. You've got, I can't even remember what this one's called at the time. So the Widow is another one worth pointing out, just hiding there on the side of the path. And one that I entered in pretty early on was the Slow King, and this one's from Paldea Revolve. This is just such a sick card. There's so much sort of little bits of detail in there, which you can see just bouncing off of the light. These cards are very pretty. Some of them are quite hit and miss, but this one definitely hits. Moving on over to the next page, and on this page immediately, we have ourselves another upgrade. We've got the Swinub, and this is the illustration rare. Now this one I believe is from the it's not Journey Together, it might be Heatwave Arena, it might even be Gloria Team Rocket in Japanese, but we've got it in Japanese and it's going to go in. It's going to be a lovely upgrade, so we're going to swap that out, upgrade it to this absolute beauty. That's what you're going to see a lot of today, just a lot of upgrades of cards that I've kind of been holding on to and I've not yet had a chance to get in. And then over here we've got another upgrade where we're going to be upgrading Smeargle, so that is going to be an upgrade in there. And we also get a new entry going in as well. So Magby's going to be a really lovely addition there at 240. Next page. Now, first of all, straight off in the top left, we've got a new upgrade to Miltank. Again, another Japanese version going in. And then we've also got another one of those quite pretty cards with the, is it terrestrialization on top? Terrestrial? Yeah, whatever. And there's also worth pointing out the Lugia as well, which I picked up at my first card show. I think it was only about £4, but that artwork is awesome. Now, to be honest with you, this page here, I definitely want to do some justice to, because I also love Raikou, Entei and Suicune. Also need some really lovely cards, likewise Ho-Ho and Celebi. So we will have to put some love into this page, and then we're going to see what else we've got on the next page. We've got C-Dot, and that is an illustration by Asako Ito, and that is also another artist set. These ones are crochet models, and that is equally going to try and get sort of taken out of here at some point. We've got Talo as well, which I need to get out of here, but we do have an upgrade to Gardevoir, because we have the Gardevoir V, which is still a very pretty card, but it does not compete to this one here. This is, look at the color in the background, that is absolutely stunning, and that's going to go in at 282 as a lovely upgrade. And we do have another card going in on these pages, which is Exploud. I opened this as a pack on a plane, and so it's just a card that we just happen to not have something for, so that ends up going into the binder. I remember packing the Slacking EX from Surging Sparks. We've also got the Slackoth as well, just chilling. And this one's worth noting as well, the Loudred, I believe it is. That artwork is just sick. Next page, we're moving over to a page that I think is one of the ones that is pretty much almost full. And we have a new addition going in here as well, and that is the Gulpin illustration, where it's actually the art rare. They call it an art rare in Japanese. In English, it's referred to as an illustration rare, and that's going to go in there as a new entry at 316. And on the same pages, we also have another upgrade as well, and that one's to Torkoal with another just awesome artwork. This one looks so real. Like, I think this is an artwork where if I take this out of the sleeve for a minute, you can see that the actual character there doesn't look like a regular trainer. It almost looks quite realistic in comparison. So it's nice to see a slightly different art style for a trainer of sort, or a human in the cards. So that's an upgrade at 324. Next page across, we've got quite a few kind of illustration rares on this page as well. And we do have an upgrade to be making. We have a brand new card for Absol as well. So we're going to be sliding this one out, and that is at entry 359. And the new card, which its sleeve is just really pushing the limits of that little gap there. But that artwork is absolutely awesome as well, isn't it? Just look at all the color just sort of shining all the way through it. We've got the Lunatone and Solrock that we entered in a previous video as well. We've got the Feebas as well as the Melodic. That is the full art version. We have then got the start of the trio where we've got Duskull. Now I picked this one up at my first card show as well. Really awesome artwork, which continues into the Dusclops as well. Likewise, the Dusknoir. It's a shame that Dusknoir wasn't actually in this entry as well, so all three cards could be on the same page. Onto the next page, we've got quite an empty page over here. This one needs a lot of love. This page also, I feel like is just going to be an awesome entry. We've got Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre, Latios, Latias, the Regis as well, Salamence. Like, this page alone could end up with some really sick artwork and cards on here. We're going to move past this one onto the next page, because over here we have another upgrade. We've got an upgrade to Roserade, and that's going to come out of here. I'm going to pop the new entry in at 407. Again, this sleeve is ever so slightly too tight. I feel like I'm just not pulling anything from this kind of generation almost. There's not very much that's making its way into the binder, sadly. On the next page, we've got Bronzong, got the Bonzi that I picked up as a mission card. We've also got the Mantike as well. This is a very cool card, just underwater design. And again, a trainer looking ever so slightly different. Moving on over, we've got another page where we've got another upgrade as well. We've got Leafeon, which is going to go in with this V, again in Japanese. I don't necessarily have a preference between English or Japanese, to be honest with you, at all. A lot of the time, just as a sort of heads up, if you are watching along and you're fairly new, I mean, a lot of the time, to be honest with you, the Japanese cards tend to be a tiny bit cheaper as well. And for a project of this scale, it's nice to be able to have something that fills it up with the beautiful artwork, but is equally a little bit cheaper. And there's loads of cards on here to take a look at. We've got the Porygon, we've got the Probopass. Down here, we've got the Dusknoir, which is something I packed myself. Now, I do like to remember which ones I've packed versus which ones I've purchased. It's just nice to just sort of flash back really to when we were opening packs for that particular episode. And if we take a look at the Cresselia, this was one that we picked up again at the first card show. Absolutely majestic artwork on this one. Moving on over, we then have a page where there's one card here that it's worth talking about more so, because this one is the Hisuian Samurott that I packed recently, opening up some Crown Zenith. Now, because if you're familiar with the series, this is a Hisuian version. I have actually had a look at Samurott, and there are no illustration rares or anything kind of fancy for Samurott at all in its regular form. So with that knowledge now, I'm just going to leave it. And in fact, I've got another Hisuian Samurott that's going to go into the other binder later on. We're going to take a look. We've got the Lillup, which I need to get out of here as well, the Blitzel, which looks really cool, and a Woobat as well, which equally needs getting out of there into the Yuka Morii at some point. There's no real rush for it. Got the Venipede, which is equally going to come out because that is another artist which I am collecting the artwork for. Likewise, the Sandile, you can see those kind of busy backgrounds to them. And on this page, we've also got the Crustle as well, which I was super happy about packing. That one was from Heatwave Arena. So taking a look then, the next page, we've got the Garbodor, which we pulled, and that one was from, which one's that from again? Paradox Rift. Really lovely illustration rare on that one. We've got the promo of Ens Zora, as well as a Carablast that I need to get out of here as well. Flicking over, we've got another Yuka Morii, which is the Ferroseed. That one needs, again, to come out. I'll probably stop saying that now, as well as the Tymo. The Stunfisk, really awesome artwork on that one as well. I love this one. This one's got that kind of blend between like sort of reality and like some sort of artistic design to it, which just blends the two together. It looks sick. Now, another question I get a lot is, what is this binder? Who makes this binder? This is from a company called Poke Protection, and it holds 1,024 cards. It will be one short by the time it's full, because there is 1,025 Pokemon. So if you equally want to do this, you will equally have one shy. Vault X do have one of these, and it has space for I think 1,080, but it's always sold out. So yeah, I'll try my best to maybe get hold of one, but to be honest with you, to take all of this out and put it into another one, I'm just not sure I'll be bothered to do it. But Larvesta is another one. That one was from Surgeon Sparks. It had a good value to it, and now it has plummeted. Next page we move along to, we end up with quite a lot of sort of commons and uncommons on this particular page. There's going to be a lot of upgrades to make to this area, such as this page as well. So it's really cool, I think, to take a look through this as well and just see which pages are coming together and which ones are really sort of taking their time to fill out and flush out. Now on this page we've got Dedenne, and that is a Yuka Morii, and we're going to get that one out because I need that first of all for the other binder. So that one's going to come out, and in its place we've got a lovely upgrade to this beautiful card here. So that's going in at 702 as a nice upgrade. I love the artwork on that. Now the Diancie here is another beautiful artwork. Picked that up at the card show. Moving on over to the next page, we've got the Oricorio, and that is going to be coming out. And you guessed it, we've got a Japanese version going in, and that is in at 741 as an upgrade. You always have to try and slide the cards between the paper and the plastic at the front there, and then just try our best to align underneath. Another card worth pointing out on this page is the Crabominable. This card is sick. It does not get enough respect. It is so cool. It gives me the Dialga silver card vibes. This is awesome. And another thing, as I mentioned sort of earlier on, you can see how much we've actually got to go in this in terms of actually upgrading cards. All of these commons and uncommons will eventually, I want them all to be like illustration rares or rares of some sort. So we have so much further to go. Although we're 558 cards in, we are not 558 cards done, if that makes sense. We've still got a long way to go. Moving through to the next page, we've got some really sus cards here, but we also have some very cool cards like the Mimikyu as well. Moving across, we have then a Meltan that I need to get out. Again, a Yuka Morii. This is a reverse holo common. So very much sort of using this video as a chance to also upgrade a bunch of cards. But to cards I would ultimately want to put in there anyway. Look at this Meltan just diving up towards the Sparks. This is such a sick card. That's going to go in as an upgrade to 808. And of course you can see we've got so much work to do in this sort of generation of Pokemon. And while I'm here, other than these two, a lot of these Pokemon are horrendous. I'm sorry to say. If this is your favorite generation, I'm really sorry. These are just absolutely awful. And maybe it's because I never played those games. They were not my generation at all. In fact, I actually started playing again and Grookey was my starter. So this was like the last game that I kind of wasn't playing. But these are awful. I'm sorry. But let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me or not. Now on this page, we've got a number of upgrades. We're going to be taking out this Greedent, because we're going to be upgrading it to this Greedent V, where he's just being super cheeky and grabbing all of the food for himself, kind of hibernating. We're going to be getting Hops Wooloo out of here. That one is going to be coming out for an illustration version as well. I believe this one is from Journey Together in English, so you can still get this card right now in its English version. And that one's going to be an upgrade at 831. And of course, it wouldn't be another page if I wasn't getting a Yuka Morii out and swapping it for another card. Now, Tutor actually doesn't have very many cards, it only has 6 one of which is Yuka Morii and one of which is this one here, which is one of what they refer to as a baby shiny. So that is going to go in as an upgrade and probably the final card for that as well. And another card that we're going to be upgrading is Squovet to a really cute sleeping card design. There's a lot of people that actually just collect Pokemon that are sleeping, which is another sort of artist style that you can try and sort of collect. If we move on across to the next page, we've got an upgrade to Toxtricity, which is going to be coming out. We do have a rare holo that we'll swap out for a awesome Gigantamax VMAX, again in Japanese. Now, I actually have two of these. I actually have the special version of this card. I can't remember the terminology, but we have another version of this that's going to be going into the second binder. So eventually I might even try and get that one out and put it into the second binder as well. Another card to mention is also the Hatterene on here as well, because we pulled that one recently alongside the Hisuian Samurott as well. Let's also get Sinistea out, again another Yuka Morii design for this Cosmo promo. That's going to be going in there, 854. Again, this sleeve's slowly going to go in because it's slightly too big. We're going to be getting Stonejourner out as well. This is, of course, you know the artist by now, Yuka Morii. And we're going to be popping in a Stonejourner VMAX Dynamax. That's it, what it's called. It's a Dynamax. Apologies for that one earlier. I think it's a Gigantamax. Dynamax, that's going to be going in. And moving on over to the next page, here we've got the Zamazenta from Gloria Team Rocket. This card gets so much stick, I think, online, but I think it looks absolutely awesome. Another couple of cards noting on this page as well. We've got the Enamorus. We've got the Meowscarada EX that we pulled, first hyper rare, absolutely awesome to do that. And we've got the Radiant Sneasler as well. Going over to the next page, we've then got the Lechonk. Love that card, he's so cool. It's just a really chill guy. And then we've got the Dashbone that we pulled, and we're getting very close towards the end now. If we move across to the next page, don't forget this is only the first binder that I'm showing you. There's more to see after this. A couple to point out, Palafin up in the top right there, Titan also down here. We've got an upgrade though on this page. We are going to be upgrading Varoom. And on this page, we've got another card that I pulled on the aeroplane, which was I think it was Paradox Rift, yeah, which we opened. That one's actually going to be a new edition with Flamigo. And we're getting very close towards the back now. In here, we've got a lot of the kind of future versions and ancient versions. And another card that needs to go in here is the other card that I pulled in that pack from Paradox Rift on the aeroplane, and that is going to be the Iron Jugulus, and that's going to go in at 993. Another card worth pointing out on here is the Dondozo. Absolutely awesome artwork on that one. We've got the Wu Chen, which I picked up from SCD down in Plymouth. I love this card. Again, I don't think this one particularly gets enough respect. This is an SAR that I won on Whatnot. And if we move over to the final page, we don't have an entry for 1025 yet, but we also have the Okidogi. We've got the, Walking Wake, and as well as the Hydrapple as well. So that is the end of the Pokedex binder. And now this is the second binder. It's by a company called Card Guardian, and I've been threatening kind of to do this for a while, but I finally sorted this one out, and there's loads of forms in here which we have done nothing towards yet, so it's worth taking a look at. I've got all of the megas starting off, and I've put these in an order pretty much based off of my preference. The ones that I think will look the coolest, we've got Mega Venusaur Charizard, both versions, and Blastoise. The megas are so expensive right now that this may never actually get started. However, we do have one card to add to it, at least today. And then flicking through, we've got all of the rest of the megas as well. Tyranitar, Houndoom, Scizor. This is going to be a really fun extra sort of side quest as such to do on the channel. So maybe at card shows, we'll pick some of these up hopefully and see if we can make some additions to here. So we've got all the megas starting us off, but on the extra page in, we do actually have our first mega going to go in, and that is going to be the Mega Heracross. It's in Japanese, and when they're in Japanese, the English of their attack is in English. So when you get the English version, it's vice versa, and then this is Japanese. So this is going to be a lovely entry. It's the first one into the Mega section, I'm going to be looking forward to upgrading all of these. So Megas then come to an end. What's after the Megas? Well, we move into the Alolan region. Now, if you'll have seen in my previous episodes, we pulled the Alolan Vulpix. That's already gone straight in here as a new addition into this section. We've got some pretty standard kind of cards for Geodude and Golem, likewise Marowak. But for me, this is really fun. It just means that we can collect at least one of every Pokemon type now that expands beyond the Pokedex. I've got all of the extra entries that came with my original order of those cards. Now I've just toned the lighting down a little bit because over here is Hisuian, Growlithe and Arcanine, and Growlithe is my favourite Pokemon alongside Arcanine, so it'd be fitting to obviously put 2 new cards in here for those two, and these are probably the coolest versions in terms of artwork on cards for both of those. So Growlithe gets a lovely upgrade from a common into a beautiful art rare at 58, which is going to be really lovely addition to this page. And then of course we've got the Hisuian Arcanine going in then alongside. Really happy to finally get these in. These tend to sort of live on my shelf until we decide to actually make a video. We've got the Hisuian Voltorb down here in the corner as well, which we also packed, as well as the Electrode, again, that we also packed as well. So it's really nice to eventually give these guys a home. Now on here, we've got space for Hisuian Samurott. Now I've just brought the lighting back up again because we have another beautiful card going in Japanese. This should actually be in Japanese only. It's got that beautiful aesthetic, and that's going to go in at 503. When I saw all the different artworks for Samurott, I was like, well, this one has to go in. So we're already building some really beautiful pages. Some commons in there. We then move through to the Galarian region as well. These are going to look amazing. The Galarian trio at the top there with Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres. Ponyta and Rapidash are going to look fantastic. We've got some pretty standard entries in here. Again, just giving them a home for a minute. If we move that across to the next page, we've got one more Galarian. Then we've got Stellarform Terrapagos. We've got a Terrestrial Form Terrapagos. So they kind of make a really awkward page. We've then got some Paldean variations as well, where we've got Tauros in 3 different variations, which is going to be a really fun one to try and actually put together. And then we move on to the Gigantamax section. Now we've got the Pikachu VMAX that we actually got as a promo from the Crown Zenith box as well. And then right beside that, we've got a space for Eevee. Now for Eevee, we actually have a sealed promo that's obviously still sealed. And so I'm gonna have to fold that over as well as the bottom and get that in here. And that is the card that I was referring to earlier on when I said Eevee, although it has some nicer forms for its regular version, I wanted to get the Gigantamax in here, and it looks absolutely awesome alongside Pikachu. Now you'll have noticed I've just very quickly made a gap here because I've also picked up the Flying Pikachu. Now this is a Dynamax. There is a slight difference between the actual Dynamax and Gigantamax, but either way, I'm going to go ahead and slide that in here. So that is another entry to the Pikachu area. Some cards I'm really going to look forward to is the Gigantamax versions of the Kanto starters as well. We've also got Rillaboom, Cinderace and Inteleon to add in there as well. Moving across to the next page, we actually have an entry here for Toxtricity, which is what I was talking about earlier. This is the Secret Rare, I believe. I don't know what the SSR is, but Secret Rare. It's the same card, but in this absolutely fantastic variation. That's going to go in down here at 849. I say 849, I should probably not number them in this binder because it doesn't make any sense. And then based off of the pack that I actually bought with these entries in, there's actually a bunch of cards that are going to go in. This is a Chinese version of Cramorant, and that's going to go in because I don't actually have a sort of allocated spot as such for it. We also have a Chinese version of Scizor as well. That's going to go in here. We also then have another card that's going to go in, and that's Greedent. That is going to slide into this entry, which is already nice because it's filling it out quite a bit. And we've got one final one to add in, which is the Galarian version of Darmanitan. And that's going to go in to fill out the bottom corner. And then the rest of this binder is completely empty. We'll have to see what we add to it. Occasionally I just put some cards at the back there just for storage. So our final one is the artist binder. I've got it in a lovely little Volt X one. It's a nice sort of thinner one in comparison to those hard zip ones. And then in here we have the Yuka Morii starting us off. Now I've made these little cards for it. Yuka Morii, we've got the tag team, Snivy Venusaur, Apom, and we've also got the Drapion as well. Now this front page is a little bit empty because on this page I simply want to start putting in some of my favorites on here. Now one of which that we've already taken out today is actually Sandshrew. I really like the artwork on this one, so this one's going to go in. Potentially it may get moved out over time. If we flick over to the next page, after here I've simply got them arranged then in their types. Now perfectly, I've got a place here for Tutel that we pulled out earlier on. It is going to be a bit of a pain constantly adding these in their types. I'm going to have to probably make more room than I need. So for example, I need to get these 3 out of this top row here, and most of them come in regular forms and reverse holo versions as well. So these are just going to move to make room for some water cards coming up in the next episode. A couple of my favorites on here have got to be the Octillery. This one is so cool because it's just like down by the ocean as well, and they're all made out of clay and then photographed in these real world situations, so they always look really cool when they're sort of nestled among an environment. Likewise the Slandit as well looks so cool. So all of these spaces are making space of course for the regular version and then the reverse holo version, which will eventually go in. If we flick over to the next page, we've got some of the grass types in here as well, alongside some of the fighting. And from fighting, we can then add in the Stonejourner, which we took out, which actually completes Stonejourner. We've got the regular and the reverse holo version. Another one that I really want to point out is actually this Clobbopus. This is sick. It's just down on the beach. It looks so cool. It almost looks real as well, like as if it's actually a real life animal. Moving across to the next page, we've got the Toxel Duo, regular reverse. We've also got Magnemite and Magneton, and we need the reverse holo here. On this page, we can then go ahead and add in the Meltan as well. So that will just slide in here among the steel variations. And I took the 3 out earlier, which was from Psychic. We've got Applin on its own back here. I don't think there's many dragon forms, but we're gonna go ahead and just add in the Clefairy. We'll slide that in there. We'll pop in the Sandygast down here, and then just temporarily, we'll just put the Sinistea reverse in here, and we'll also pop the Dedenne in here as well in its regular form. So that's my Yuka Morii section. This binder's not over though. If I flick towards the center, we've then got the other artwork of the crochet versions, which are by Asako Ito. They're so cool. We've got Swirlix, Sandygast, and Esper, both versions as well. This is not quite getting as much love at the minute as comparison to my Yuka Morii, but you know, that will start to take form quite a lot later on. If we make our way towards the back of the binder, we've got loads of space for growth. There's so many Yuka Moris. I think there's over 200. So with 2 versions of each one, this could get filled up quite quickly. In here, let's grab the Jinx, for example, where we've got some beautiful artwork from Tamakatsu Kamiya, I believe it is. And they are just absolutely fantastic. They're so busy. And then right at the back here, we've got some more artwork as well. Let's grab the Stunfisk and take a look, because these are by Shinji Kanda. They're, again, really busy artworks. They look fantastic. And they equally come in sort of regular versions, reverse holo versions as well. And that runs all the way to the back page on here, where we've got, I mean, my favorite out of all of these is probably the Kecleon. The artwork on here is absolutely fantastic. There are some pretty pricey cards by these artists as well. So this binder, even though it's a side project, is equally going to get quite a lot of investment, just like the main binder.